Hello, I'm Dr. Rick Chambers, and welcome to this edition of Health, Happiness, and Harmony Partner training videos. This one is based on an article by David Ulrich in the magazine Parabola, The Search for Meaning in the Intelligence Issue. The title of this particular article, which I think is beautiful, is To Be Touched by the Intelligence We Need. This is also an example of a larger project that we call our Parabola project. If we were an academic field, then this magazine Parabola, The Search for Meaning, would be our academic journal. If we were a Sunday school class, it would be our curriculum. It would be great for our learning groups to use an article a week as a springboard to dialogue. There is a sentence from another Parabola magazine that finally allows me to articulate exactly what we're working on in these projects. This is by Ravi Ravindra. The entire academic world is occupied with knowledge as a community and as a shared enterprise, but the domain of meaning always remains individual. So we're trying to bring the academic project together with the individual journey toward health, happiness, and harmony, and meaning is central to that journey. So this article focuses on dialogue to be touched by the as a way to be touched by the intelligence we need. And I'll go through some of the highlights of this article. Alone, we are limited and somewhat stuck in our own self-referential agendas, opinions, and entrenched worldview. Understanding worldviews is going to be extremely important on the individual journey. Dialogue can free the mind of its own inner tyrannies. It is the most accurate and least confusing adjective for techniques of freeing the mind from its inner tyrannies is dialogic. The act of becoming quiet and listening to ourselves, to another, and to the world itself can become a profound form of opening. Jacob Needleman asserts that listening is the first work of love. This article suggests, and I agree, that finding fresh and unanticipated solutions in the moment, that dialogue is the best way of doing this. There are a couple of quotes that really capture this. In this form of creative dialogue, everyone is and can be an artist engaged in the creative process of giving birth to something new, not considered or anticipated prior to coming together in a shared space of exploration. So when you can create a shared space of exploration, it's the only way I know that you can, what we call solve a problem, but give birth to something new, not considered or anticipated prior to beginning. And think about all the conversations you've had and how rare that is. And yet, if you think about it, it has often only happened when you're in a certain kind, it can happen when you're in a certain kind of shared space of exploration. Something is in the air and descends into the assembled minds through a particular kind of open dialogue that incorporates thought, feeling, and sensation. This something in the air is often portrayed as a dove, representing the Holy Spirit in many medieval illustrations. And so in dialogue, you do try to put together thought, feeling, and sensation. David Baum, who's also written extensively about dialogue, but who is a physicist, calls this the proprioception of thought. How thought interacts with our bodies. It is also, this connects us to the embodied and to the body-mind. And this way of thinking actually is different. Jacob Needleman continues, the white dove is the Holy Spirit. That's the spirit of reconciliation, which is the third force between oppositions, or even between one thing and another thing. And then there's a great quote from the author. In our present culture, as I see it, the main need is for a form that can enable human beings to share their perception and attention, and through that sharing to become a conduit for the appearance of spiritual intelligence. This is exactly what we try to do in our learning groups and in our dialogues and discussions. It could not be said better. It focuses on, there is a form to it, and you have to learn how to create this form. And it allows people to share, and I think this is very important, their perception and attention. This is growing and beginning to appear across multiple fields, which are developing this as a methodology and practice to incorporate understandings that grow from the receptivity to each other and sensitivity to the earth itself. The use of the word grow there connects it into our project and also implies something could descend from above or come up from the ground. You will see this methodology being practiced in transpersonal psychology, organizational development, eco-psychology, feminist theory, the arts, new forms of medicine, and modern physics. Thank you very much.